Hi, this is Mrs. Gerhart. Today we're going to be working again in Pixlr Editor, and we're going to be going over more of the tools and more of the options available to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create some things. I'm going to start with the shape tool, which looks like a square and a circle, and notice that I can create a shape tool and it automatically fills it in. Notice there are border sizes and fill shapes. I can change the color of the fill shape. And when I click OK, when I create that next shape, it's going to change that border size and some of those other pieces. If I want to make a circle shape or an oval shape, I can use that same shape tool. Unfortunately, I forgot to change the color, so I'm going to undo that. I want to change that fill color. Again, you have all of the different color options that are available throughout Pixlr Editor, and I can go ahead and I can start to create and make some of those different colors, those different shapes. Another tool that's hidden in here is the straight line tool, and I can change the size of the straight line tool. But if I'm trying to draw something that uses straight lines, I can go ahead, I can use this straight line tool to start to mimic and add some of those pieces. With the brush tool, I can change the opacity, so I don't have to have it at 100% opacity. I can change it from a hard tip to scatter or diffuse, and you can see how that changes the overall look of the brush tip. I can also change it to a hard tipped brush. I'm going to change the opacity so that you can see this a bit better. And I'm also going to change it back to black so that you can see how that changes it overall. Again, a reminder that the brush tip you might want to change. A lot of times it opens up naturally in these diffused brush tips. So if you're trying to draw a picture, you probably want to try and change to one of the brush tips at the top. Eraser, it's right underneath of the pencil. So if you make a mistake and you want to erase something but not just undo your last step, you can go into that eraser. Don't forget, you can also change the eraser size and you can start to erase some of those pieces. Another thing that you can do when you're starting to go ahead and erase is you can zoom in. And maybe I want to zoom in where I started to erase. So I can move this zoom button over here at the right-hand side. I can zoom out just a little bit. And then as I'm erasing, I can really even go pixel by pixel and erase all of the parts that I need to erase within the picture. Then I can either go back and zoom out within the navigator area, or I can even go up to the top, view, show all, and I'm back to my original picture. A couple other tools and options that you might want to know. Let's say I go ahead and I select something with the magic wand, and maybe I just want to change the color of that area. So I'm going to change it to blue, and then I'm going to go into the bucket and I can go ahead and I can pour just that section in blue. Maybe I want to change and stop that magic wand. If I get on the magic wand tool and click it again, it will take it off of that original area and put it into whatever area I'm starting to work in next. And I can start to add color or take color away from some of those pieces. One other area that you might want to check out is this top area, layers. I could duplicate a layer. Maybe I have a whole thing drawn on and I want to duplicate that layer and I want to shift because I want the exact same picture and I want to repeat it. I can duplicate and I can just shift it whatever direction, and that puts it on another layer here over at the side. Adjustments. I can play around with some of the different adjustments within this piece. Maybe I want to change it all to sepia. Notice I was already clicked on something and it goes ahead and picks up that piece. I can play around with the color balance, the brightness, the contrast, some of these different areas, and by playing with these pieces, and again, I'm still on that, so I need to go ahead, I need to deselect. Now I should be able to go ahead and start to play around with some of the overall pieces on the layer. Notice I'm working on the copy layer. If I want to switch and go to the other layer, I need to go on to that layer and then go ahead and adjust. Thank you for sharing and joining us and going over some extra tips with Pixlr Editor.